YouTube ジャパンチャンネルをご覧の皆様、どうもはじめまして、48のこたつです。
太郎です。
あまるです。
若葉です。
えんです。あみかです。
音羽です。
むしです。
よろしくお願いします。
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 今回、なぜこのチャンネルに48が出演させていただいているかというと、YouTube の上級副社長であるニール・モーハンさんに今回はインタビューをさせていただくことになりました。インタビューのテーマは、誹謗中傷、ネット上での嫌がらせ、そしてネット上でのいじめの問題について、と少し重いテーマではありますが、ネット社会が進行している今だからこそ、真剣に考えないといけないテーマだと僕は思います。YouTube では誹謗中傷という概念に近いものとして、嫌がらせやネットいじめという言葉を使っていますが、YouTube は実際この問題についてどのように考えているのか、今回48メンバーが質問していきたいと思います。それではニールさん、今日はどうぞよろしくお願いします。今日は忙しい中、インタビューのお時間をいただき本当にありがとうございます。まずはですね、ニールさんの YouTube の役割について紹介いただけますでしょうか。お願いします。
Sure. So first of all, konnichiwa for Gabe. Thank you very much for making the time. It's really great to be here with you today. My name's Neil Mohan. I'm the Chief Product Officer of YouTube. And in that role, I'm responsible for all of our products, our user design, and all of our trust and safety efforts for all of our products globally. And so that's my responsibility.
ありがとうございます。はい。それでは、ニールさん、よろしくお願いします。早速、質問の方に進めていきたいと思います。それでは、お願いします。
ニールさん、今日はたくさんのことをお話ししたいんですけど、その中でまずお聞きしたいのが、YouTube のサービスを展開していく中で、世界の中で日本って今どういった感じなのかちょっとお聞きしたくて、結構重要な国になってきたりしてるんですかね。
Yes. Japan is one of our most important countries for YouTube. In fact, Japan was the first country in the Asia Pacific region where YouTube came, all the way back in 2007. So YouTube has been in Japan for many, many years, and it is a really flourishing ecosystem with amazing creators, Japanese creators like yourselves, amazing partners, advertising partners, and of course, all of our Japanese viewers. They all form an incredibly vibrant and creative community that's growing every single day.
すごく重要な国って考えられてるんですね。めちゃくちゃ嬉しいです。ありがとうございます。
それでは、次お願いします。
YouTube ではネット上の嫌がらせの問題についてどういう考えをしておられるのですか。そしてもう一つ、どのような取り組みをされているのでしょうか。聞かせてください。
Yes, that's a very good question. And I would say that the issue of harassment is something that we take incredibly seriously. But perhaps I should give a little bit of perspective in terms of how we think about this problem. First and foremost, the vast majority of creators, well over 99% of our creators, just like you, are producing amazing content, creative content, educating the world, helping the world connect on every single day. And that is the vast majority of the experience that our users have on the YouTube platform. This challenge around content that violates our community guidelines, like hate or harassment, forms a small fraction of 1% of the content on the platform. But regardless of its small percentage, it's still a very important responsibility. In fact, it's my number one responsibility to make sure that our viewers, our creators like yourselves, all of our partners are protected and that we have an incredibly safe and vibrant ecosystem. So this is an area that we've been investing in very heavily for several years. Since the beginning of YouTube, we've always had community guidelines. Even though it's an open platform, we've always had guidelines that govern the type of content that can stay on our platform or come down, videos, comments, etc. And we continue to update those guidelines. In fact, we made a major update to our hate and harassment guidelines in 2019. And as a result of that update, we've removed thousands and thousands of videos, millions and millions of comments that would otherwise be harassing in nature to our creators, to our viewers, etc. So we take this responsibility incredibly seriously and remain vigilant every day to make sure that our viewers and all of our creators and partners are protected.
一部とはいえ、問題のあるコンテンツに対してしっかりルールがあって取り締まってくれるのって、すごい活動者側からしたらすごい安心することだなと思います。ありがとうございます。しかし、動画やコメントについてのそのコンテンツが嫌がらせに当てはまるかどうかを世界共通のルールで適用するのってすごい大変だと思うんですよ。で、いろんな国で嫌がらせってあると思うんですけど、きっといろんな種類、いろんな言葉ってものがあると思うんで、そこで質問なんですけど、コミュニティガイドラインを作るときとか、実際に適用するときって、日本の文化背景とか、その動画やコメントの文脈とかをちゃんと理解した上で対処とかってしてもらってるんでしょうか
？Yes, I think that's a very important question. YouTube is a global platform. We establish our community guidelines to apply globally. But of course, the local context, the nuances that exist in every region, every country, even within countries, different regions within that single country, all of those are very important considerations that go into both the creation of the policies in the first place, as well as the enforcement of those policies. So in the case of hate and harassment, perhaps I can give you a little bit of examples of how that plays out. So as I mentioned, we updated our hate and harassment policies globally in 2019. But in order to create those policies, we took input from all regions around the world, including from Japan, from government, from our partners in the government, non-government associations, creators, members of the community, so that we could capture the nuances of Japan, of different regions within Japan, in terms of how we define those policies in the first place. And then once those policies were defined, even when it comes to enforcement, understanding the context of a video or a comment, when it happened in a country's history, what was going on in the society at the time of that video and comment were created, all of that is very important in terms of interpreting whether that video has hate or harassment in it. And so all of that goes into factoring into our enforcement as well. And the way we can do this is not just by consulting regional experts in Japan, but also our raters, our human raters of this content. We have thousands of them, and they're distributed all over the world. And they speak all the languages in which videos and comments are created, and they have an understanding of the nuances, and they're able to call on experts that we have that are spread out all over the world to incorporate all of those regional nuances. Because as you correctly point out, that's a very important part of creating the policy in the first place, and then also enforcing that policy.
ただ日本語がわかるだけではなく、日本社会の文化的な背景や最初のトレンドなども含んで理解してる人っているんですね。確かにニュアンスとかってすごい大事だなと思います。それに日本の専門家ともあって、日本固有の問題について議論したいっていうのもすごい安心しました。日本のことを考えて今後もルール作りされることを期待しております。お願いします。
僕的なんですけど、人の力っていうのがやっぱり限界があると思うんですけど、やっぱ見てる側からしてたくさんの報告がYouTube 側に来ると思うんですけど、その時ってどのように素早く対応してるのか教えていただいても大丈夫ですか？
Yes, being able to enforce our community guidelines in a very efficient and timely manner is a really important part of our overall process. And as you rightly point out in your question, we want to be able to do this at our global scale for all of our users all over Japan and all over the world. And so we use a combination of machines and human raters to do this. And the way that the process works is, of course, our policies are developed by by people, our employees, taking into account all the expertise that we get from third parties, government organizations, etc., to capture the regional nuances in Japan. So that, of course, is being done by human experts. But in order to then scale the system, we use machines. We train our machines to then be able to identify content that might potentially be violative, whether it's video content, comments, etc., of those policies that are developed by people. And machines allow us to scale. And so, for example, between October and December of last year, we removed about 10 million videos from our site. And of these 10 million videos that were removed, I think something on the order of over 70% of them were identified without a single external view by a viewer. And so, or actually with less than 70% of them were identified with less than 10 views. And I think something around 35-ish% are identified without a single view. So as you can see, machines play a very important role in being able to scale up our policies and allow for the enforcement of those policies in a way where the impact on our viewers is minimal. But machines, of course, can only do so much. What machines can do is they can identify potential candidates, videos, comments, etc., that might be violations of our community guidelines. But then we again fall back to our human rater experts, these thousands of raters that we have all over the world, to take those videos that might be enqueued by machines to make decisions that only humans can make, that involve all the nuances, the regional nuances, the language nuances, etc., that we talked about before. So the real secret to being able to enforce our policies at scale is a combination of machine learning technology as well as the expertise of our people who are highly trained.
ありがとうございます。やっぱ確かに見る側からしたら理想的なのがやっぱり見たときにガイドライン違反っていうものがやっぱ削除されていたら見る側からしてもやっぱり理想的だなと思います。今後もこうやってもっともっと技術が良くなっていけば僕たちがそのクリエイター側であったり見る側からとしても安心できてそれがすごく改善できたらやっぱすごいですね。先生本当にありがとうございます。
Yes, that is our goal. Could I please ask you a question as well?
はい。
I'm very curious about your perspective from a creator's perspective about this issue of online harassment. What's your perspective on it, and how do you deal with this issue as creators yourselves?
はい、じゃあこれは私に答えさせてください。クリエイターとしてできることを模索する中で、一つやってみたのが、オンラインでの嫌がらせの問題について、一人でも多くの人に考えてもらうきっかけを作りたくて、あなた、私、Before That Future というドラマをフォエトのみんなで作成し、YouTube にアップしました。去年、SNS 上での嫌がらせを受けた人気番組の主演者が亡くなるという痛ましい事件がありましたが、事件後も有名になったんだから何言われてもしょうがないでしょう、みたいな風潮があることに納得できず、みんなで話し合った結果、誹謗中傷をテーマにしたドラマを作ることになりました。私自身も主演させていただき、自分の経験を思い出しながら演技をしました。ドラマの中では、誹謗中傷のコメントがタトゥーみたいに体に埋め込まれるという描写を入れることによって、見ている人に自分の何気ない一言が相手の心にどれだけ深く刻み込まれてしまうのかということを表現しました。普段の4-8の動画とは全く違ったジャンルの動画だったので、視聴者の皆さんにどれだけ受け入れてもらえるのかすごく不安だったんですけど、視聴回数が140万回を超え、とても多くの人に発信することができ、本当に良かったと思っています。これからもみんながインターネットや SNS をもっと楽しく使っていけるように、自分たちにできること、自分たちに合った方法なども考えながら、フォエトとしてもクリエイターとしても発信していけたらなと思っています。
Well, thank you very much for your answer. And it really is creators like you, like Frigate, that are really inspiring to me, all of my teams, and the way that you reach out to your community, connect with your community to address these issues, to make sure that your community feels included and everyone belongs is really inspiring. This issue of making sure that our viewers, our creators, our partners are all protected from harassment on the YouTube platform, as I said, is my top priority. It's my team's top priority. And hearing stories like that from all of you is really what inspires us and keeps us going. So thank you for that.
あ、すいません。次大丈夫ですか？
Yes, please.
Thank you. YouTube って、すごくたくさんの方が世界中で利用されているプラットフォームなので、全体からしたらごくわずかな数かもしれないんですけども、実際にその全てを取り締まりをするのってすごく大変なことだと思うんですが、そこの規模感みたいなものはどう対処されているんでしょうか？
Yeah, so just to give a little bit of perspective in terms of the volume. If you think about from October to December of 2020, we removed on the order of about 10 million videos from our platform, which of course represents a very small portion of the overall videos on our platform. And of those 10 million, something on the order of about 80,000 of them were in this area of harassment. During that same time period, we removed hundreds of millions of comments, I think something close to 900 million comments, and about 20% or so of those were in this area of hate and harassment. So those numbers hopefully give you a little bit of the idea of the scale at which we operate, and also amongst the total number of violative videos and comments, what percentage of them are of the nature of hate or harassment.
わかりました。ありがとうございます。Thank you so much.
はい。じゃあ、私から質問しても大丈夫でしょうか？
Yes, please.
YouTube のコメントの機能についてもう少し教えてほしいんですけど、インターネット上の嫌がらせコメントに対して、例えば AI などで厳しく対応したり、相手側に警告とかブロックなどを自動的にすることとかできるんでしょうか？
I'm glad you asked that question. It's a very timely question. In fact, just a few months ago, we started rolling out a new feature in YouTube where if a user is typing a comment and our AI systems can interpret that as potentially a hateful comment or harassing comment, we will ask the user to reconsider that comment and perhaps change the wording so that element that might be harassing in nature, they can change the wording around and still participate in a more productive way in the community of comments associated with the video. So we are using our AI and machine learning in real time to improve the nature of the dialogue that's happening in comments on creators' videos. So we're very excited about that feature. It's gotten really positive response, not just from our viewers and our users, but also creators who have benefited from this new feature.
ありがとうございます。Thank you.
その件に関して僕からも一つ質問いいですか？
Yes, please.
コメント欄が荒らされないようにするために指定した単語をブロックするコメントフィルターっていう機能はもうすでに48でも使っているんですよね。ただ、その中で特に害のあるコメント、そういったコメントがまず掲載されること自体が当たり前だと思わせないために YouTube がもうこれから実装していく新機能みたいなものがもしもあれば教えてほしいです。
Yeah, so first of all, I'm really glad that you're using that feature and you're getting a lot of value out of it. That's why we built it. My philosophy is our creators should be able to determine the nature of the comments on their channel, on their videos, the tone that those comments take. And that should really be determined by our creators, and we should give them the tools to be able to do that. And so we've invested very heavily in a suite of moderation tools. For example, our auto moderation feature where comments that may be in question can be held in reserve so that they only show up in the comments below a video after a creator has approved them. And we want to continue to build moderation tools and automated moderation tools just like this to make it easier for creators to control the nature of the comments on their videos so that the dialogue can be productive, inclusive, and healthy conversations can ensue in comments, which has always been the vision of YouTube. So those are some of the things that we're working on our product roadmap to make it so that your comments can be even more fruitful for you as a creator, but also for all of your fans and viewers.
まだまだ YouTube のことで僕たちが知らないことたくさんあって、今日お話聞けてめちゃくちゃ嬉しいです。本当にありがとうございます。
Thank you so much.
ありがとうございます。そうですね、今回やっぱ改めて誹謗中傷のテーマについて話して分かったことは、本当に誹謗中傷って今もしかしたら僕たち若い世代が一番注目しないといけないテーマだと思ってます。やっぱり誹謗中傷っていうのは今後一生ついていかないといけないテーマであって、やっぱりなくならないと思うんですね。ただ僕たちにできるのはそれを最大限なくすことっていうところだと思います。やっぱりコメントをする人って正義感とかアドバイスと思ってコメントをしてるんですけど、それが時には、もちろん正義にもなったり、時には悪にもなったりするのがやっぱり言葉だと思うんですね。で、そこをやっぱり僕たちが視聴者さんにそこの区別をしっかりつけて言葉を発する前にそれを自分に置き換えてそのコメントをされた時にどう思うのかっていうのを視聴者の皆さんにしっかり伝えていければなって思ってます。ニール・モンハンさん、今日は本当にこんな素敵な機会を与えていただき本当にありがとうございました。これからも YouTube を一緒に盛り上げていければなって思ってます。ありがとうございました。
Thank you for 8 for inviting me and for the conversation that we've had. I really appreciate all the time. Thank you so much for for all of your questions and for the discussion on this very, very important topic. And so it was really great to be able to participate in that discussion. And I thank you very much for all of your time. And I hope I get the chance to meet all of you in person soon, one of these days.
ありがとうございます。
ありがとうございました。
Thank you.
ありがとうございました。Thank you so much.
ありがとう。